Hi, this is John with Beyond 20. Today we're going to talk about indexes, specifically unique indexes that use more than one field. So I have the CMDB pulled up in front of me here, and you'll notice that there's a lot of different records in it, and there's a lot of different field types that are in each individual record. So if I go into one of these, you'll see that there's a lot of data in here, and it would be kind of hard to determine exactly what should be used to determine which of these is actually the unique thing that I want to track. So a common way to do this is basically by using the serial number. The serial number is provided most often by the manufacturer, and it is usually unique to that manufacturer, and it will not repeat as long as the manufacturer keeps cranking out goods. So a good way to do this is to basically have a unique index on the serial number. So an issue with that might be, though, if say for example two manufacturers were ever to use the same serial number, well, at that point you basically wouldn't be able to use the same serial number for these records. So you'd have to determine some other way to make them unique, or basically in order to allow them to live within the same CMDB. So a way that we can do that is to pull up the admin client here. So we're going to add a unique index to the config computer configuration item. So, but the trick with this is that because this is a group member under configuration item, this basically uses the same table as all of these other CIs, all of these other configuration items. So I'm just going to come into config computer, and really you could do this on the configuration item too, it doesn't matter. And we're going to go into the database under the business object properties, and we're going to add an index. So as we add the index, we're going to select unique index, and we are going to add fields. For this first field, I'm going to select serial number. I'm going to click OK. So again, the reason why we do this before I publish this, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So if we had the same serial number, and say I wanted to make a new CI, if I had the same CI type, everything was the same, or say it was all completely different, but the serial number was the same and I wanted them to be different, then we would need to differentiate them in some way. So I'm just going to type in the serial number here. I've added a friendly name, and I'm just going to go ahead and save it. So now that I've saved it, we now have two records in here that have completely different information, but they have the same serial number. So they're two computers, they're exactly the same as far as the serial number. So if you're looking up records, that might be confusing. If, say, for example, if you wanted to look up a record by the serial number, you should have the ability to know which one is which. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this record. I'm going to come back to my admin client. I'm going to save this blueprint, and we'll go ahead and publish that. And I'll skip the boring part here. Real quick, as we're publishing, you'll notice that as I've only made the change to this config computer database, or rather the business object, it's showing that each one of these group members has also been changed, including the configuration item, which is the group leader, basically. And that's because, like I said, it's all using the same table. It's all just one large data set. So therefore, the unique index is shared among that table. And then we're just going to load back into the CMDB. And I'm going to pull up a CI here. And you'll see I've got a serial number. I'm just going to copy this serial number. I'm going to do the same thing I did just a minute ago. I'm going to make another CI. And I'm going to paste in that serial number and just give this a regular friendly name. So now we get into error when we try to do that. Now it gives kind of a generic error. It gives this correlation ID error. I'm not sure if there's any plans in the future to make this a little more specific so that you can kind of see exactly what the error means or what it's trying to do. And why it would give you this error. But if you didn't know about the unique index, this might cause you some confusion. For this particular use case, it's giving this error. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to change this slightly. Instead of an 8 on the end here, I'm just going to give this a 9. And now that I've changed that number just a little bit, it's enough so that I can actually save the record, and this could be a brand new CI. But instead, right now, I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and then we're going to make some modifications to our unique index. All right, so now that we're back at the unique index, I'm going to go ahead and add some fields here. So say, for example, if we wanted to add a different configuration item type name with the same serial number, you wouldn't be able to do that right now because the unique index is currently only looking at the serial number. So this is a config computer. So if you wanted to add, say, a server with the same serial number, you shouldn't be able to. So I'll add this serial number in here. I'll save that. Oh, gotta add a friendly name. And now I get the same correlation ID error. And that's because regardless of the CI type, it's telling me that the correlation is basically being made between those two serial numbers, and that it's not allowing me to move past that unique index. It's saying that's a unique field, you're not allowed to do that, full stop. You can't save that record. So I'm going to go ahead and abandon this record. So say, for example, if you wanted to be able to add another CI type but have the same serial number, you can do that by adding the configuration item type name. So I'm going to go ahead and add that field here, and we'll go ahead and save and publish this. Alright, so now if I try and copy the serial number, and if I add a new CI, which is the same CI type, and try and add that CI, it's not going to let me. So I can abandon this, but if we try a different CI type, and then put in that serial number, save that, it lets me. So because the CI type and the serial number are both unique, it's allowing that entry in there. So the unique index uses that combination of field data to prevent you from making those duplications within the CMDB. All right, so let's give one more scenario before we finish here. I'm going to go ahead and delete this record. And say, for example, if you had a server that might be in a different state, or say the server was retired, and you wouldn't want that serial number to necessarily prevent you from making new CIs with that same serial number, just on the off chance that you had the same or a different manufacturer duplicate a serial number for whatever reason. I have seen it before, it does happen. For the most part though, they should be unique. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and make a unique index that includes this status up here. Now that we're back in front of our unique index, we're going to go ahead and add the asset status. And we'll go ahead and save and publish that. Now let's pull up one of these CIs again here. Alright, so now if we try to make a duplicate of this serial number with this CI type, it should let us because we have a different status. And there you go. So now if we change this so that the status matches what the other status was, it gives a correlation ID. Because you can't have those two CIs with the same serial number in the same status. One of them needs to be in a different status than the other. Alright, that's it for this video. Please feel free to like and subscribe. And also feel free to browse through other videos. We've got a lot of great content. And feel free to also check out our website at beyond20.com. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.